My name is Renee Romanos. I am Cheyenne from Oklahoma. I currently live in upstate New York with my Oneida husband, Brian Patterson. And we were at Standing Rock this summer. We spent our honeymoon there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So,
And
this was a match made in heaven.
so, can you describe what was the experience like?
If you're at Standing Rock, it's transformative. You realize that you're part of a movement, that you're part of a humanistic movement. You're not um, there to promote yourself. You're not there to promote somebody else. You're there to promote humanity and the human right to water, fresh, clean water. And there are people that from all over the world there. There are people who are traditional enemies. The Crow, the Pawnee camp side by side with people from the Great Sioux Nation, Cheyenne people. So there are people from all over the world who you would not expect to even say hello to each other, but they are now shoulder to shoulder because they realize this is a fight for water. This is not a fight for one tribe or one nation against another. We are all united in this because water is life.
Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how on the internet, I mean, on Facebook, you see the feeds and everything, but the media, and it seems like there's not a lack of, there's a lack of interest. And I know environmental issues, people don't really deal with them and really pay attention to them, but this is, I mean, with Flint, there was a lot of press, but for some reason, I mean, this affects more people than Flint, potentially, but there's not, why do you think that is?
Well, purely and simply, it's racism. It's
Okay.
environmental racism.
Mhm.
The city of Bismarck, the original pipeline path was intended to go right by Bismarck, and the city of Bismarck, which is largely European Americans, the city of Bismarck said no. We don't want it to go by Bismarck because it might affect our drinking water. So, boom, the next choice to go right by a reservation that's one of the poorest places in the United States. Their only water source is this river.
Mm.
Their only water source for thousands of acres is this water that they're trying to preserve and protect right now, not just for themselves, but for 17 million other Americans who live along this proposed pipeline. And last night they were trying to dig under the river. And that's what the water protectors were reporting on. They do not have an easement from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, but they're digging anyway. They did not have the right to plow over the graves of our ancestors in our sacred sites. But right after they got that map of where those sites were on Saturday, they moved their heavy equipment down 20 miles down the road and plowed up our ancestors and plowed up our sacred sites with impunity. Nobody stopped them. Nobody said anything except for our water protectors. And we have tried again and again to show with our maps, the Treaty of 1851, Fort Laramie Treaty, et cetera, et cetera. This is unceded tribal land. This is treaty land. Treaties are supposed to be the supreme law of the land according to the U.S. Constitution.
So they're breaking the U.S. Constitution with this?
Exactly, they are. And with all these people, the National Guard, the sheriffs from all different 6 different states around North Dakota have come in to basically violate human rights. The United Nations just issued a report saying again and again and again how many laws were being violated. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
How many laws were being violated of human rights laws, not just American laws. These are people are being abused, people are being strip searched for trespassing. When you're arrested for trespassing, you're not even arrested. You're given a warning or a ticket, and people say, okay, you can't come here again. Right? That's trespassing. But if you're on your own land and they're arresting you for trespassing, and then they're taking you and your sister and your daughter, and they're strip searching you, and they're patting you down while you're naked, that is a human rights violation. They have threatened to waterboard people. They have one girl got her arm broken in 2 places by somebody really happy with his billy club. There's a lot of we have 27 people who are hospitalized right now because of last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Now,
astonishing that the
the
world is in
17 million that you talked about, now this is in North Dakota. What other states potentially be affected by this?
North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa. I'd have to look at a map and see the
Okay,
rest of
but the
them.
Midwest, like Wisconsin, maybe Illinois.
Well, no, not that far north.
Okay.
So what you're looking at is you're looking at the Mississippi River and the Missouri River, and you're looking at so in our belief system, the water system is like a tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the roots of that tree and the branches come up into the Midwest, but the ball of that is the Gulf of Mexico. So if you looked at just that water system, you would see what looks like a tree. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that those are the veins of Mother Earth.
Where the oil
And
spill was. Is that what you're talking about?
if that oil spill, and it does, we had
Mm-hmm.
292 oil spills in North Dakota alone so far this year.
Okay.
292.
So the oil is already in the water.
No, the oil is,
Okay.
yeah, it probably
Okay.
is to some extent,
Uh-huh.
but we keep, these are small spills, and some of it's oil, and some of it's the fracking water that they're using.
Okay.
So it's a mixture of different chemicals, all of which are, cancer-causing chemicals that
Mm-hmm.
we're releasing into our water. So the 17 million people who could be affected by this, that includes farmland, that
Mm-hmm.
includes ranch land, that
Mm-hmm.
includes families and children and schools. And it goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. This oil is not going to be sold here in the United States. This is a pipeline to go down to a refinery to be shipped to China. It
Really?
has
So it
nothing
goes
to
back to China.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's not for America. America is now the number one producer of oil because of fracking, but we already know that fracking causes earthquakes. All we have to do is look at what's happening in
It was just
Oklahoma.
a tsunami. I mean, in Japan, of course, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah.
Okay. So why is there? It seems like with indigenous cultures and I want to say European cultures, there's a disconnect with nature as far as the relationship with Mother Earth. When you look at Africa, when you look at the Aborigines, when you look at the Native Americans, when you look at the Indians in India, they all have some kind of reverence for nature. But it seems like in our society, in America, there is construction, capitalism. There's no respect. What do you think is it just money or
I think
what?
that a large part of it is money.
Okay.
We have built a society that worships money.
Hmm.
We don't, we joke about, or we allude to, oh, we believe in God. Well, if you believe in God and you believe that God created everything on the earth, the trees, the plants, the grass, the
Hmm.
people, then you
Hmm.
have to respect what God has created. And average American doesn't do that,
Hmm.
especially the 1%. They don't care. I looked at Donald Trump the night he accepted, the presidency to be president elect, and I looked at his son Barron, and I
Hmm.
thought, what kind of world are you going to grow up in? What kind of water are you going to have? What is the legacy going to be from President Trump, a potential President Trump,
Hmm.
and a Republican House and a Republican Senate? They don't care about people, or they wouldn't be trying to shut down health care for millions of Americans.
Hmm.
A healthy American is a working American, is a tax-paying American,
Hmm.
and is somebody who's going to be working for a long time in their life. And
Hmm.
why wouldn't you want each and every person in this country to be healthy? Why wouldn't you want them to have clean water and clean food? Why would you want them to have GMO food? Because it's about money.
Now,
We go to the grocery store and
hmm,
we see all these foods, right? But they're
hmm,
not real foods. If
GMO,
you want
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if you want real food, you got to go buy from a farmer.
the
You got to
local,
grow
yeah,
your own crops in your own house. You got to
hmm.
figure out a way to do crops on your rooftop, crops in your apartment. We've got to be more creative, and we've got to shut these people down.
Now Obama, he has, I guess he's signed a thing for reparations earlier for Native Americans, and I think I can't remember he did something else, but it
Oh, for the Cobell case,
yeah, why is he so? What's going? Why do you think he's so hesitant with this or not speaking out against this? I mean, we
there are
know it's
three.
bigger than him, but if you've
Yeah,
already reached out and helped the natives of this country to an extent, why not help out in this situation?
there are 3.8 billion reasons why he's not helping,
Mm. Okay.
and they're attached to a dollar sign. This pipeline is financed
What are some of the
3.8 billion
banks?
dollars.
The banks, like,
Uh,
what are their
Wells
relationships?
Fargo,
Okay.
Chase. Wells Fargo is their number one investor. There's a bank
Okay.
in Norway that just pulled their funding. They sold their investment in the Dakota Access Pipeline,
Okay.
and have been talking about pulling the rest of their support. I changed my bank. I no longer bank with Wells Fargo
Okay.
because of well, obvious reasons. They're ripping
Mm-hmm.
everybody off, and as well as they're the major investor in the Dakota Access Pipeline. You can Google who the investors are
Yeah,
for
I'll put it
DAPL.
in the description. So that's a way people can peacefully protest without going out there and risk getting
Anybody,
pneumonia just by pulling money from these certain banks.
yeah, put it
Okay,
in a local bank, put it in a credit union.
okay,
Vote with your money. Stop buying things that are made from plastic.
right.
So oil, we all know that oil causes cancer, right?
Mm-hmm,
We know that gasoline causes cancer. I don't let my kids pump gas. I
mm-hmm,
pump the gas. That's my risk. I'm choosing to drive a vehicle. I have an
mm-hmm,
energy efficient vehicle. Doesn't
mm-hmm.
mean it's not still causing problems. It means that that's the best I could do. We need people to invent a better way to get around, a
Right.
greener way to get around that's affordable. We need to quit bashing each other. Oh, you drive a car, don't you? Oh, you fly on a plane, don't you? Invent a better way, and I'll take that way.
So
You know, I yeah.
let's
Go
get
ahead.
on last night. What the hell happened last night?
So it's my belief and the belief of several other people
Mm-hmm,
who are there and who are following this that the reason things escalated is because DAPL was drilling under the water, which is illegal. They do not have an easement from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to go under the water. My perception is they're just going to do it and say, "Oh, look, it's done. Too late." So all the people who are fighting them, including the group of farmers from Iowa who've been fighting them, there's a woman whose land was taken using eminent domain, which is supposed to be okay. This is for the public good. Only it's not for the public good when you steal someone's farmland so you can send gas to China. That's not a valid reason for eminent domain. Another thing that's happened is that Dakota Energy Transfer Partners, which owns the Dakota Access Pipeline, bought a large tract of land in North Dakota. It is illegal for anyone to buy a large tract of land in North Dakota unless they're going to be farming.
mm-hmm. Okay,
That's illegal. I've seen it
okay.
over and over again. I have a lot of friends. I used to live in North Dakota. I have a lot of friends who are attorneys, and they're up in arms. They're up in arms at people being so a couple days ago,
Mm-hmm,
the Morton County Sheriff said, "Oh, I'm concerned about people getting hypothermia out there." 2 days later,
mm-hmm.
they're hosing people down. It's 25, 26 degrees outside. We have 27 people hospitalized today. We have an elder who had a massive heart attack and is in the hospital in critical condition today because of their illegal actions. So they tried to say that the protesters started the fires when in fact the police started the fires. You can look at the videos; they're all over
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah.
YouTube. The police started the fires, and then Martin County issued a press release saying that they were trying to put the fires out. We have all seen the videos. And if people haven't seen the videos, they need to watch them because these are people fighting in midwinter for water for 17 million Americans. We got 7,000 people out there living, and it's what's ironic is this encampment now is one of the largest cities in North Dakota because of all these people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
It's heartbreaking to watch this on TV, to hear people say, my daughter got arrested, she was strip searched, she was forced to squat and cough, and they threw her in a cell naked all night. I don't want to say that about my daughter. I don't want to say that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anyone to
So
say
what
that
what can
about.
people do? Are we powerless in this situation? I mean,
We are not. We are
okay,
not powerless.
okay,
We have to stand together. Every single person, every single American that wants to fight for water needs to go to Standing Rock. Right
okay.
now, today, pack your car, get on a plane, get on a bus, throw your thumb out there, get to Standing Rock right now.
Now I'm in Ohio, and they said our governor sent state troopers there,
So
Kasich.
call your
So,
governor. Call your governor and tell him to pull back your police officers. Tell him you want your police officers to stay home and take
hmm
care of people there at home.
right.
Why are they sending? So they're using a law that says if in case of natural disaster, we have this agreement. We will support each other. We will send sheriffs and equipment to other states who are
hmm
suffering from natural disasters. This is not a natural disaster.
Right.
Bringing in the National Guard. So Energy Transfer Partners has already offered to pay for the sheriffs coming in, to pay for the National Guard coming in. This when it's constructed, this pipeline, no matter where it's constructed or how it's finished, will generate billions of dollars.
How long is it estimated to take?
If they are not finished by January 1st, they have to renegotiate all of their contracts. So they could lose a lot of money. And so it could be shut down just by that.
So
We need more.
okay, not
We
too
need
much
more
more
press
longer.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we need more press.
yeah.
We need people because we had a journalist get shot yesterday as he
Mhm,
was interviewing somebody. We had a journalist get shot a week and a half ago as
mhm.
she had her back to the water when the
Yeah, I
water was
seen that.
going across
She
the
was shot
river.
in the leg. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So she went down. We have Amy Goodman from Democracy Now!
Mhm,
She got arrested and charged with all these trumped up charges. I hate to use the word Trump, but it's true. It
right.
fits. All
Yeah.
these trumped up charges of inciting a riot.
Mhm,
If you watch the videos from last night, and I did, and they were heartbreaking. And as I talk to you about this right now, I
mhm,
am fighting my emotions. I wish I was there right now. I cannot be there right now. I'm in
mhm,
Oregon, but doing some work and visiting with my mom. And I my goal is to get out there again as soon as possible.
mhm.
So if people can get there, they should get there. It is going to be one of those things where 20, 30 years from now,
Mhm.
people will ask, "Oh, were you at Standing Rock?" Just like, "Did you go to Woodstock?"
Uh
Right?
huh.
It would be like,
Or the
"Did you
March
go
on
to
Washington or something. Yeah,
Yeah, did you
yeah,
did you take part in the Million Man March?
yeah.
Did you see Obama sworn in? I went
Mhm,
to D.C. when Obama got elected or his
mhm,
second term, and
mhm,
I was like, I got to be there. This is history right now, right
mhm.
here. I've got to be there, and I got myself there, and it was an amazing moment I'll never forget. And that's how Standing Rock is. It makes you realize you're part of the human race. You're not brown, you're not red, you're not white, you're not
Mhm,
whatever. You
mhm.
are shoulder to shoulder with people who want to protect the
Now,
earth. The
I spoke
disconnect,
to someone there. I don't mean to cut
yeah,
you off.
yeah,
I spoke
that's
to
okay.
someone else that went, and they said they were a native, and they said it was the most spiritual experience they
Yeah.
ever been through. Was that with you? And
Oh yeah, yeah. My husband.
what makes it such a spiritual experience?
So my husband was invited to speak there. He's a tribal leader for Oneida Nation out
Okay.
of New York, and he he spoke several times, addressed the crowd. They did an honor song for us. He was invited to take part in a sweat. He did that. We prayed while we were there. We went down, blessed ourselves with the water. Everyone is invited in.
Mhm,
Nobody goes hungry. Nobody goes cold. There are blankets. There are people there to care for you.
mhm,
It's everything else is pushed away. TV's pushed away. Um,
mhm,
Computers pushed away. Internet's pushed away. With the exception that people are trying to get the word out. More journalists need to go. More. We need to demand that TV stations, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN needs to get it straight and stop reporting on just what the sheriff's department says. Oh,
mhm.
this is what happened. No, this isn't what happened. Go be a journalist. Get on the ground. See it for yourself. Bring a cameraman. Record all this. If it weren't for everyone going on the internet and having their phones, this wouldn't even be covered. The
Right.
UN would not have come and watched it. And as for your earlier question
Mhm,
about why aren't more Europeans connected to the earth, I think
mhm,
there are a lot that are. I have a
mhm.
lot of friends who are not tribal who
I guess
feel this.
I'm talking about the 1% of the people in quote
Yeah.
unquote power. You know. So.
So those 1%,
Mhm,
they care about themselves. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. We're just, a mass of, oh, those people,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
There are a few people. Robert Kennedy was at
Yeah.
Standing Rock. There
Mhm,
are a few people who have greater care for their fellow human beings. And I keep hashtagging this up. I have a lot of Christian friends. I have a lot of Muslim friends, and I keep throwing up that tag, WWJD. What would Jesus do?
mhm.
Right? Because
Yeah.
you don't tell me this is a Christian nation and you treat your indigenous people and our allies like this
Mhm,
because of water, because you want to make some extra money.
mhm. I
Take it
get I
somewhere else.
I get real emotional at any injustice, but
Yeah,
to me, it kind of deepens during the holidays because of Thanksgiving and different. You know what I mean? It kind of has a more serious tone. Like, okay, we know what happened on these holidays and how they originated, and yet
yeah,
it's still so. For people that can't make it out, they can pull money out of these banks, which
They can
I'll
pull
list
money out
below.
of those banks.
Hmm.
They can contact their elected officials. We need people
Okay.
to blow up the phones. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
trying all day to get a hold of the White House,
Hmm.
and there is a change.org petition that I
Yeah, I signed
started.
that. Yeah.
You saw it? Yeah,
Hmm.
thank you. Thank you so much for signing it.
Hmm.
And we've gone over 100,000 signatures, so it gets sent to the president,
Yeah.
gets sent to the governor of North Dakota and their senators. We
Now,
have
what,
to do
what are
everything
they
we can.
saying? What are the North Dakota senators and governors? What are they? Oh.
So, right now, their spin is that this isn't Indian land, right? Even though, if you look at the map of the Treaty of 1851 or
Hmm.
Fort Laramie, you see clearly that this is tribal land. Like I said earlier, according to the U.S. Constitution, treaties are the supreme law of the land. So, everybody out there trying to hurt our water protectors is breaking the law. You're breaking the U.S. Constitution and you're violating human rights, you're violating international law. I don't know what it's going to take to get people's awareness, other than to ask people, please go there, or please send money to Sacred Stone Camp, sacredstone.org
Hmm.
or standingrock.org. Help the tribes, help the water protectors. We've got to we've got to protect Mother Earth. We
Hmm.
are the stewards of the land. This is our sacred duty as Indigenous people.
Hmm.
For people who came here from other countries, from Europe, wherever, you're here, you're with us. Help us protect it. Protect our natural resources for your family, not just ours,
Hmm.
yours, your family, your neighbor, your community. We're doing this for everybody, not just for ourselves, not just for our children.
Right.
And
Okay.
this movement was started by our youth. Wasn't
Hmm.
started by the elders.
Hmm.
Although I know that there's an elder right now who started the Sacred Stone Camp and has done a wonderful job. I just so admire her. This was started by our youth who ran from North Dakota to Washington, D.C. to tell our president, hey, protect our water.
Hmm.
2 years ago, there was a meeting between Standing Rock and Energy Transfer Partners wherein they said, hey, this is going to adversely affect us. We don't want it to come by us, because they keep saying that there was no discussion with Standing Rock. That is a blatant, outright lie, and documents have proven that it's a lie.
Okay. Do you have any last words? I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate everything.
Well, you know what? I ask everybody, and I will reiterate what Chairman Dave Archambault says: pray for us, pray for the water. This is a prayerful, spiritual camp. This is a camp, and you see over and over again people. There's an amazing graphic of a young girl holding an eagle staff, and there's 4 or 5 police officers trying to rip it out of her hands. I don't know if you've seen that. It's an eagle staff. They said when they after they arrested her, oh, she was holding a 38 special. It's a stick with eagle feathers on it. So when they raided our camp that was trying to stop them from coming further onto tribal land, they stole a bunch of our things, clothing, sacred items, etc. When they brought all that back, I don't know if you saw this, when they brought it all back, they dumped it out of a dump truck, and they had urinated on our, excuse me, they had urinated on our sacred items. The people, the people who came and prayed with us from all different faiths, when their stuff was taken, it was returned in a good way, in a respectful way. When our
Hmm.
stuff is returned, the racist, unlawful, illegal mercenaries who are protecting the Dakota Access Pipeline against U.S. citizens urinated on our sacred items.
Now, are
So we
these
are
North Dakota police or like
Borden
well,
County
these aren't
Sheriff.
local police, are they?
It's local police, and it's people from other states, and it's
Okay.
the National Guard. And
Okay.
there are some police departments who have gone back home and said, we're not going back. What's happening there is not right. My hands go up to them. I thank them for their courage and the strength to say those things and to speak out, and
Hmm.
to try to let other people know that what's happening is wrong. Every American should be on top of this, should be following this, should be talking about this. Every American should be supporting Standing Rock. Every
Hmm.
American should be standing with Standing Rock in whatever way they can, even if it's just calling the White House every day and begging the president. You can Facebook President Obama. You know, he made
Hmm.
promises. He was at Standing Rock 2 years ago talking to our youth, and
Okay.
he was at
Okay.
Cannonball, North Dakota. And where are those promises now? Where are those promises, President Obama? You were adopted into our people. The Crow Nation adopted you. What are you doing for your people now?
So he's had a rocky term. I think this, if he
Had a
signs the
rocky,
paper, this
yeah.
could he could end it on a decent note if he handles
If
this
he stopped
situation.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. If he stops the Dakota Access Pipeline, or if he reroutes it, even
Mm.
get it away from the reservation. Environmental racism is still racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is a perfect example. If you got listeners who are like, "What's environmental racism?" Well, environmental
Yeah.
racism, right? If
Mm-hmm.
that is when we avoid putting something that's going to be adverse to the environment next to a white city, so that we can put it next to a brown city or a black city, or Flint, Michigan. Everyone in Flint, Michigan is still dealing with poisonous water.
Yeah.
Why? Why? We got enough money to keep going to war after war after war, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't have the money to take care of our own citizens here at home.
Yeah. It's like we progress so much with technology and quote unquote education. It's like we get worse with our
Yeah.
morals.
Yeah, because we become, oh, it's all about me. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about me.
Yeah.
And it's not about you. You can't survive. You can't drive down a street without realizing, without intrinsically knowing
Mm-hmm.
these are your tax dollars at work. There's a road, there's street lights, there's hospitals, there's clinics, there's police, there's fire. That's all your tax dollars at work.
Mm-hmm.
This is a community. This is a country that right now is showing symptoms of decay. If you study, I have a master's degree in applied anthropology, and if
Okay.
you look at the decline of civilizations,
Mm-hmm.
one of the symptoms is a decline in courtesy.
Mm.
Isn't that amazing? It's just something little teeny thing. Like, how many
Yeah.
times have you been at the grocery store and somebody reaches right in front of you to grab something without saying excuse me, or somebody
Right.
bumps you, or somebody you're trying to hold the door for somebody and they don't even say thank you. That's
Mm.
a decline of civilization.
Yeah. Now,
And I,
water, you only need. I think you can survive longer without food,
correct.
but you need. I think they said what 7 days is
Yeah.
the longest you can go without water. So, but it's like we don't even understand and fully comprehend the basic needs. Like you need, like if you don't wash up for 3 days because you
Yeah.
don't have water. I mean, what is that? That's gonna create diseases might go up, and
Yeah.
I mean looting, people looting stores for water. I mean
Yeah.
it could go wrong in so many areas. So
So the other thing to think about is
hmm
when all our water is poisoned, when all our water is undrinkable, what are we going to do for water? We're going to buy it,
hmm
right?
hmm
We're going to buy it. So these companies, they don't care because they know down the road when
but
all our
and
water,
not to cut you off, they already tricked us into even having to pay for water in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah. And we're paying for
Yeah,
city water. Why are we
yeah,
doing that?
yeah,
And we're using plastic to do it.
yeah.
Get yourself a metal drink container, carry that, fill your water at home, take it with you. Make little changes that will help change the world. Stop
hmm
buying plastic.
hmm
Buy more fuel efficient cars. That's
So you're
do
saying
everything you.
were you saying companies like Nestle, or their stock is gonna go up, or different water companies,
Oh
their
yeah,
stock is gonna go? Okay, okay.
yeah. Don't invest in companies that are not investing in your community and your future. I actually have a guy that I invest with. His name's Joe Gallagher. He's a wonderful friend of mine,
hmm
and he goes, Renee, I want you to invest with me. I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that you have a retirement and you have some stability.
hmm
And I said, okay, I'll invest with you, but you've got to have an investment that is responsible and green.
hmm Right.
I'm not going to invest in anything that has anything to do with oil. And it took him about a month and a half, and he came back. He goes, guess what? I found something, and it's making money. I was
Okay.
like, awesome, I'm in. So it's as simple as that. But if we don't, each and every one of us, make those movements, we've got like 10 years to turn climate change around. 10, maybe 9.
They keep saying the hottest year. Last year was the hottest year. This year was the hottest year.
So you know what? I'm here visiting my mom. She's
mm-hmm,
got roses blooming. It's almost December. She's got roses blooming. She said, come look at this. What the
mm-hmm,
is this? I'm like,
mm-hmm.
roses? She goes, these are spring roses. She's got tulips blooming in late November
It
in
was
Oregon.
70 degrees here 2 days ago, and then the next day it was 33.
Yeah, yeah. And we've
That's
just elected
yeah.
a president who is a climate change denier. What's that
Yeah,
going to
that
do
was
for
one
the
of the
future of our
things. I think Obama's executive order that he was going to
children?
change was the climate. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
You
not
know,
looking
no, what kind of future
good.
will our children have and our children's children? So we are, right now, we are the seventh generation. We are qualified for this moment. This is not a time for us to be timid. This is a
Hmm.
time for action. And if that means writing letters to the president or Facebooking him and writing letters to our senators, our representatives, we've got to do it. We
Hmm.
cannot be we cannot be timid, or we cannot be, gee, I don't feel like doing that today. Well, you
Hmm.
know what? You're talking about your future and the future of your children, your nieces, your nephews. You're really talking about the future of the world. We don't
Right.
have a second world. Where are we going to go to Mars? How are we going to get all these
That's
people to
that.
Mars?
That's what makes you think their one-way ticket to Mars is because they know they're gonna
They
just
know.
flush the Earth down the toilet, or try.
Yeah, they know. They know
Yeah.
who's going to go. The 1%'s going to go,
Hmm.
and we're
Yeah.
going to be left here. It's going to be just like that. There was
Walking
a movie.
Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be bad. And we don't want that. We
Yeah.
stand at the point of prophecy, both
Hmm.
prophecy from the Bible, prophecy from several tribes,
Now, what was the
wherein,
Hopi prophecy? Does that correlate with this Standing Rock?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
the Great Sioux Nation, they have a prophecy about a black snake that they've told for hundreds and hundreds of years of there will come a time when a black snake will try to cross our land. And what we do, if we stop that black snake, or if we let it go through, that will determine whether or not we have a future as a people.
Hmm.
Right here, right now, we are in the time of prophecy. We need to protect our children by action, not inaction.
Okay. All right. It's been great. I don't. You've been talking for a long time. I don't want to hold you, but I
No, thanks.
appreciate it. I
Oh, I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
being
So
asked. We each of us need to get the word out, whatever way
yeah.
we can. I do not represent anyone but myself, and
Okay.
I can only speak from my own experience. And I appreciate very much what you're doing,
Hmm.
to get the word out about Standing Rock.
Hmm.
More people need to stand with Standing Rock. And I
Yeah.
thank you. I applaud your efforts.
All right. Well, I'll get this out. Thank you for your time. Hopefully, I want to say we'll talk again, but hopefully it'll be on better news on what's going on out there.
Yeah, let's do that. I'd
Yeah.
like that. I'd
Okay.
like that. Thank
All
you.
right.
Take
Thank
care.
you. You too.